If you are building your file along with me as I work through this course, you can simply keep that same company file open as we work. If you're just joining in, if you didn't follow all of the steps from the previous chapters, or if you simply want to start each chapter with a fresh file, you need to use a company file from the Project Files folder located on your desktop. The project files are actually backup files for my working file. They simply need to be restored in order for you to be able to use them. Go to the File menu, choose Restore, and work through the wizard to choose the backup from the file folder that you're going to be choosing from the desktop. Before you can get everything buttoned up, though, you have to make sure that everything's ready to be buttoned up. And I've kind of given you a checklist to do that, and as I've suggested, you also talk to an accountant or a bookkeeper to help you along with that. One of the things we know, though, is that we have to make sure everything is current in Peachtree. And one of the ways that we can do that is by making things inactive. Now, we've talked about this before. You can't actually delete things that have transactions against them, but you can mark them inactive. One of the things I remember is that I had an inventory item that was accidentally entered twice. Let's go ahead and take a look at that and mark that as inactive so it's not a problem from this point forward. We do that, of course, by going up to Maintain and coming down to Inventory Items. I then simply scroll through until I find the one I want. In this case, it's the long version of Herbal Facial Scrub. I'm going to go ahead and mark that as inactive, and then save it, and then close it. As part of your closing process, you should do the same thing for all inactive entries and transactions. This includes employees, inventory items, customers, vendors, closing open purchase orders and open sales orders and quotes that you know won't be filled. Anything that is appropriate, you want to go ahead and mark it so that we can take care of it appropriately using Peachtree tools. The next thing, of course, that you want to make sure that you did is prepare any year-end forms. Now, this, of course, can be a whole other job, talking about payroll and taxes and anything else. But let's go ahead and show you at least one place that we haven't taken a look at yet. Let's go to our Employees and Payroll Center and click on the 1099s option. Now, all of this should already be set up. When you had a new contractor or a new vendor that was appropriate for a 1099, you were going to select that. We also set up some defaults. So at this point, all you really need to do is print your 1099s. This opens up our Select a Report or Form window, and we can see a couple of different options here that we'll want to run through normally when we close the books. I'm not going to have you go through all of it because it can be kind of detailed and time-consuming. First of all, you can choose which 1099s you need, either interest or miscellaneous. For vendors that you've paid checks to throughout the year, it's going to be a 1099 miscellaneous. You would then go ahead and click on Preview and Print. You'd simply select the correct tax year, use the form that you have, adjust any limits that you need to say. In other words, what do I do or do not need to pay according to how much I've paid that person over the year. You could apply a filter, but generally it's a good idea to go ahead and just print them for everybody. That way nobody's missed. Then you would refresh your list and continue on as you have already seen so many times with the different things that we've printed and emailed. So as I said, I'm not going to go ahead and go through this whole process. I'll just cancel. That takes care of our contractors. The other thing would be, of course, your payroll tax forms. Here again are a lot of things that you could do. Let's go into Preview and Print just to review the list. You need to absolutely make sure that all of your tax tables are up to date, that your calculations are correct, and that your numbers are precise. Then you would come in, go through any variety of forms, including W-2s, your 940s and your 941s, and you would again process these just like we've processed other reports. I'll go ahead and cancel and get out of our report dialog as well. And just remind you that this is a couple of things that you need to make sure that you do before you go ahead and actually start the closing process.